What up as Dane, and in this video I'm going to be telling you what foods to eat to build muscle mass fast as hell, as quick as possible, right? So without further ado, let me get straight into this video. So you want to know what foods help build muscle, right? But before I tell you, I need to tell you the basics of building muscle, right? Without this, you will not build muscle, I'm telling you now. You might as well go watch you might as well not go watch any other video, because you're not going to know what you're doing. So basics of building muscle, right? This is what you need to do. Get your calculator out, and I will tell you how to pack on some muscle mass, right? Get your calculator out. I don't know why I just did that. 11, now that you got your calculator, 11 times your body weight in pounds, right? Once you have that number, that's your basal metabolic rate, your BMI. That's just like your calories of maintaining your bodily movement, stuff like that, right? Now once you have your BMI, times that number to 1 to 1.6. 1 being you're not very active at all, 1.6 being you're really active, you're always on the move. For example, you're a bricklayer, you're always going to the gym, stuff like that, right? But this is really important. Even if you go to the gym 6 days a week, but your job's an office job, you're not going to be 1.6, right? You'll probably be like 1.3. So work that out. Once you have that number, that's your calorie maintenance, right? Now to pack on muscle mass, to build big ass muscles, once you have that number, plus 500 onto that number, right? Now eat that many calories and you will get big. There's no doubt about it. There's no way around it. You will get big, right? If you eat that many calories a day. If you eat more than that calories, you'll still pack on muscle, but you will pack on some excess fat, whatever you want to call it. Even though you got that number already, right? You will build muscle, but you'll gain a little bit of fat. That's the whole process. But if you know me already, if you do micro bulking, micro cutting, you won't lose your six pack if you got a six pack at the moment anyway. But that's not why we're here. We're here to build muscle, right? So what food should you eat? Now we have that. That number is a calorie surplus or caloric surplus, whatever you want to call it. You need to be eating a calorie surplus to gain muscle, no doubt about it. So if you want to gain muscle, calorie surplus, make sure to increase the weight you're lifting over a period of time, and then have enough volume in. So for example, you could do a periodization program, do 4 weeks of trying to increase your strength, then 4 weeks of lifting weights in about a rep range of, say, you could just say 8 and above, like say, no, not 8 and above, that's stupid, why did I say that? Because you could lift 8 to 50 reps. So 8 to 15 reps should be good, yeah? So that allows you to have greater time and attention, right? So now that I've told you the basics of building muscle, the real basics foundation, I'm going to be telling you what foods to eat to build muscle. First of all, as you know, protein. I'm sure you've heard of protein when it comes to building muscle, right? Protein is real important because after you work out, you tear your muscle fibers, and then protein gives it the building blocks to repair itself back and grow bigger, right? That's what protein, in simple terms, that's what it's basically made for. That's why you need it. That's why you need it. Carbohydrates, they just replenish the glycogen stores, and then fat. The main function is for like insulation and then hormones, right? So now that we have that out of the way, what foods? So obviously when I talk about protein, in order to gain muscle, we need a lot of protein, right? So a minimum of 1 gram per pound of body weight, a minimum, right, for building muscle. And especially it's higher if you're in a calorie deficit. If you try to lose fat, your protein's higher, but I'm not going to get into that. A minimum of 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein is a good baseline. And what food should you eat? Chicken breast, I'm sure you already know this. Turkey, just anything that has protein in it, like meats, steak, you know what I'm saying, lean meats, tuna, fish, stuff like that. And then it's also important to know you don't need to eat 100% clean when building muscle as well, as long as you're in that calorie number that I gave you, right? You don't want to go over it. But I do recommend 80% of your diet at least comes from unprocessed food, right? At least, just to stay healthy. So if you want to build muscle as well, and I want to cover if you're a hard gainer, so bear me 1 second. Carbohydrates is your friend if you want to build muscle. If you struggle to get calories in, carbs, I'm telling you, man. Protein is good, you need this, but carbs is very underrated as well. I think in like the basic simple terms, or people that are not very knowledgeable, they're like, okay, protein's the main thing, don't worry about carbs. Now carbs are important because, say like pasta and rice, they contain a lot of calories compared to the satiety, right? You can eat a lot of it and you can't even feel full. So if you're a harder gainer and you struggle to eat that many calories a day, pasta and rice, man, those are the two main that I recommend. Of course, any other carbs that contain a lot of calories and don't fill you, that's good, but potatoes, man, they fill me too much. They have a high satiety. I don't eat that. I stay away from them. And fats are your friends too. If you didn't know, fats have double the amount of calories with proteins and carbs. They have 9 grams, and fats have 9 grams. Protein and carbs have 4 grams, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. That's right, yeah. Pretty sure. If that's wrong, someone correct me. But the fats have definitely got double the amount of calories. I know that. So fats are your friend. Like one teaspoon of peanut butter, man. Obviously, it depends how much you put on it, but it's like 100 calories. It's a lot. So fats. That's how to build muscle, right? I think I've covered everything. I've given you some food choices. I'll give you some sample meals. The quickest ones that I like is, say, turkey mince. This is like a 15-minute meal, right? With 100 grams of protein. Turkey mince, I put 2 in a pan, bang. Put a whole thing of pasta in a pan, bang. That's protein and carbs out the way. If I want fats, I'll just cook with loads of coconut oil, bang. There's protein, carbs and fats hit almost throughout the day, right? Because I said 2 packs of turkey mince, whole bag of pasta, and I cooked with coconut oil, right? So what I do there, and that's a tip now. This is coming from a tip from the side. This means you don't need to cook all the time, right? You just cook in bulk. So anyway, I hope this video helped you. I hope you found it valuable, got some value out of this. I'll summarize it off like I always like to do. So protein is number 1. You need to give your muscle the building blocks to repair, right? And sleep is also real important, but I won't get into that too much. So protein, and then the basics of building muscle, calorie surplus. Make sure to increase the weight on the bar over time and get enough volume in. That's the basics. But probably the main 2 is eating a calorie surplus. If you don't do this, you will not gain muscle. And step number 2, make sure to increase the weight on the bar over time, right? But make sure to stick. This is very important. Make sure to still stick at a rep range. I'll say 8 to 15. Otherwise, you're just gonna increase your strength all the time. So anyway, I hope this made kind of sense. I try to give as much value as possible. If you found it useful, you already know what to do down below. Comment, let me know what you thought, if it was all over the place or if you actually got some good value out of this. So anyway, stay positive, stay smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.